Tonight, he's Billy. And
You're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
See that? That's it. That's the apparatus. So how long did he go to jail for?
That's one of the best parts.
He didn't?
No. He negotiated amnesty because he had the upper hand. They did drag their feet through court and end up making him do 10 years in a mental health, various mental health before they had to let him go.
Well, what's that anyway?
Yeah.
All right.
A dead man's a device on a forklift or something where it's like a rocker that you stand on it while you're operating it. If you fall off, it shuts off. It kills the engine or the motor immediately, so you can't run yourself over.
Or the person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have a similar thing on my treadmill that you're supposed to hook to you, so my fat ass. I've never used it, but I think I'm about to the point where I need to.
Everyone ties it up around the key so you can grab your water bottle.
Welcome into the Doug Stanhope Podcast, already in progress, catching up Kristine Levine on previous podcasts. Come on in to the FunHouse. Listeners, sit down. Make yourself a drink.
Your clothes are going to smell like smoke tomorrow.
Yeah.
Possibly forever.
It's like the grossest prairie home companion. Nobody bathes. It's like actual prairie.
Tracy used to do a thing when she used to work at the cannery in Anchorage, where like her and her roommate both worked on the fish on the slime line and everything. And so when they came home to their apartment, they had a hamper right in the kitchen. They would go up to the kitchen. We are now getting a hamper for the back door when we leave the FunHouse. We can just take the top coatings and put them in there because it is pretty smoky these days.
We were in here. I was in here all day, chain smoking with, I don't want to mention her name, but a friend of the podcast who came in yesterday when she had left some stuff here and was starting a road trip. Oh, man. A months-long road trip across the south and southeast through Texas all the way to Mississippi doing, she had a photography project that she could finally embark on and had the car ready to go, oil changed, new battery, all her shit packed. She's going to live out of her car. And, she's all manic and excited about it. And then this morning I got a text. Hey, so more good news. I almost died she got into a rollover extreme DUI accident. Well, we don't know extreme yet.
Extreme!
But, yeah.
That's more than 1.5 rolls.
Yeah.
Yep. Tires
it
up
was
on
a
this.
Mountain Dew rollover. Be there!
Doug, I was wondering when you told me about it today. I've been thinking about it all day. It's a fucking crying shame.
Heartbreaking.
But where in this town can you get enough roadway to roll more than once?
She said she had a hankering for some nachos. She went to the gas station and got some shitty nachos and evidently a lot of cheese because the arresting officer showed her a picture of the interior of her car after the nachos and cheese went through it like a tumble dryer. And woke up in jail. It's just... just having seen her so excited to finally do this shit she's been talking about for years and being all packed up to live out of her car, which now you can live out of your car as long as you do it at the junkyard.
Oh, God.
Have you ever been in a rollover, Doug?
No.
Oh,
no.
God.
Anyone?
No.
Not me?
You? No.
I don't drink it.
When I was a kid, once I was asleep in the back, so I don't remember any of it. And I once took
Hank Williams.
I once took my mom's Datsun 280Z up on two wheels so that everything fell out of the glove box and ended up down against the door. And I remember thinking, this is what it feels like to roll a car. And then it came back down onto four wheels. And I was like, oh no, I made it.
Good job.
I remember as a teenager, Weird Joe Vancelette had this fucking great Cutlass Supreme.
Where were you?
Worcester, Mass.
Worcester.
And it was just a fantastic... Now it would be a fucking just obnoxiously priced car. It's like a 78 Cutlass, and it was beautiful. And he'd just drive like an asshole, and I'd go to him. And we're turning on to the bottom of my street in Tatnick Square. And I go, Joey, whip this corner. I probably still had an accent back then. I can't even do it. And he tried to take this corner, taking a right turn at some excessive speed that there's no way. And he fishtailed one way, overcorrected, put the parked car of the neighbor into the neighbor's yard with his, and our friends were following us. So they just said, book it. Like, we got in their car, we went to Big Boys and had nervous coffees debating on what to do until we were sober enough to go back to the accident. And by then, their cops are all over the place, and they pulled us over before we even got back to my street. And they pulled us over, and they go, hey, what's your name? To Weird Joe Vancelette. And he made up a name, and they go, really? Weird Joe, he had all fanciful dreams of being a singer and an actor. He was terrible at it. He couldn't do any of this stuff. And he had just had headshots taken. So he had the proofs. Mm-hmm. They go, really? So then who's this ugly fuck? They had found the pictures of him in the car.
The smoking gun.
That sounds like a fake name to begin with. Weird Joe Ancelette or whatever you said.
Vancelette, yeah.
Come on.
I met him at Job Corps.
What's Job Corps?
Job Corps is like it's like a voluntary jail.
Yeah, but
It's
only
like
they
community
teach you
service
stuff.
or something?
But they
No,
teach you
no.
stuff.
It's like I took my kids there to try to get them to go to Job Corps.
Yeah.
If I would have known, I thought Job Corps was something you got sentenced to. That's the only people I ever knew when I was young got sentenced to it. But it's not. If you're poor and you don't have shit to do, you go to Job Corps. You live there in a dorm.
Yeah, it's almost like the military.
Yeah, it's what I would have done instead of joining the military had I known it was.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
They
like
need better
outdoor-
pamphlets is what they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like outdoor school plus jail. Outdoor school jail.
It's
Kinda,
wait.
right? Yeah.
Well, I commuted, but a lot of kids lived there in dorms, and I went for like 2 weeks. After I thought about, I took the ASVAB, and I thought about the Air Force, and then I had a fucking dream where they were shaving my head, and I went, no, I can't do that. So I went to Job Corps, and I lasted like 2 weeks, and I was taking culinary arts, but it was like, you'd go out, on the yard for breaks,
Smoke cigarettes.
and save me a check. I remember that was what the black guys would say when you were about done with a cigarette and they wanted the last drag. Save me a check on that, man. Save me a check. All right.
Louis C.K. had the best joke about it. He called it vocational school.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't remember.
Where you learn a
I won't
trade?
do it justice, but it was like, we tell kids their whole life, you can be anything you want to be. He goes, but then you reach a point where you have to tell some kids, all right, you can be 5 things.
Culinary arts,
Yeah.
plumbing,
Nurse.
mechanic.
Yep.
nurse.
Welding.
Yep.
I think welding
Yeah.
gets people overlook that. I always thought my nephew would be great because I knew he wasn't a college kid. And his great grandfather invented Hawaiian Punch. So then they had money, and any kids that wanted to go to school, the grandmother who inherited all the money would free ride anyone. And I'm like, I kept telling my mom, look, man, your grandson, he's not going to college. Come on. And she's like, you can't say that to him. Because I go, hey, man, why don't you go get a trade, like welding or something?
Yeah.
Well, now he certainly didn't get skilled in anything, but he's swinging a hammer. And it's like years later, my mom's all, you were right. He should have just gone to the trade.
I'm just picturing Chaille trying to be all, hey, buddy, you ever think about cutting hair?
But see, I was traveling around playing music. I mean, I introduced him into some music and stuff, and we had a really good relationship like that. But at one point, my mom kept going like, so have you thought about which colleges? And I'm like, come on, quit this facade.
Yeah.
This is a joke. Some kids just don't want to do that.
No,
and you shouldn't think that they should, like, they'll get used to it.
No, I never banked on it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally never saved a dime for my kids' college. Just never, I knew. I could just tell by looking at them. They're soft.
Yeah.
You don't have what it takes to do
Or
college.
if they wanted to, they would. There's
get your
plenty
shit
of
together and go do it.
There's plenty of things that there's opportunities for them to take advantage of grants and things like that if they want to.
Yeah.
If they're lazy and they don't want to, Fuck it.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
I at one point when my kids were young, I told Jenny, I go, we're gonna have to start a family business if you want these kids to get jobs because they're fucking dumb, man.
A family business. We're like they live above it.
Who's gonna hire them? Us? I don't know anybody else.
Pawn Stars.
We're gonna have to go get storage
I
lockers.
was so right.
God.
You
A
know,
hassle.
I always the mantra is save it for the podcast when you came in hot with a story. But I guess I want to segue you into your story, but I should have asked the premise of it where Joey here says he almost killed you.
Oh, yeah, he almost killed. Well, you get.
Did I almost kill you, or
Yeah.
was it the guy that?
Joey, get on mic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a drink here.
So Kristine, you know Kristine has a lot of pain, right? So every once in a while she'll ask me for pain pills. So
Yeah, every once in a while.
Right.
Like, remember when Jill died, babe? Remember when Jill died and I said we got rid of her.
Your neighbor.
Yeah. Or my neighbor died and I took her. What was that? Methadone.
Methadone, yeah.
Yeah, we stole her methadone and found it useless.
A couple Percocets too.
And some whatevers, yes. And then we traded it for actual stuff we wanted. Well, anyway, so that is what happens sometimes. Sometimes I try to get stuff that we want.
Right, and I don't do pills, and I can't see what they have on them. So I just give them to her.
Blind.
I'm blind, and I don't do pills, so I don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually get the good ones, but this time I got ones that were just looked legit. They were blue, but she said she almost died.
Well, anyway.
When you say good ones, you mean the color is good?
Yeah,
they look like good ones.
There's like 5 colors of pills.
Yeah.
They're all sorts of different kinds of reactions.
But these are usually green or blue.
Okay.
Yeah, they're green or
white.
blue. They looked okay.
They're either Percocets or Oxys, I think.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
To the untrained eye.
These don't smell like Chinese fentanyl to me.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was
Started
Mexican
again.
fentanyl. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Chinese send it to the Mexicans. That's how they get it.
Yeah, and the great thing was there was a big story on Arizona Daily today. It says, watch out for these deadly fentanyl pills from Mexico. And they're like the blue, and it was exactly what I gave her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I looked at the pills. I was going to buy the paper, too, and give it to her, but I didn't want to
Like,
spend
see, babe? They were trying to kill you. So anyway,
Pillfinder.com, not...
No.
Still there.
Yeah.
ID, pill ID.
Yeah,
Why
so it's your
why
fault.
type all those letters into a fucking address bar when you can just guess?
Yeah. Well, okay.
I don't know where my reading glasses are. Fuck it, I'll eat this.
Okay,
she
fair
ate
enough.
half.
So what I did is I only took half because I thought this looks shady. Let's try half.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Yeah, half.
That's the
won't
worst
kill
part,
me.
is she knew they were shady. She's like, they didn't feel right or have anything
They
on
don't
them.
look right. And I
And I was like, why
fentanyl.
did you take them?
What's that? So what? I've done fentanyl a little bit before. So what? So I think, like, I'm going to be cool, right? Because I only took half of it. What could possibly happen to me? Well, anyway, 4 hours later, I am, like, sweating and shitting myself in bed, praying for death, but then not too much because it's probably going to happen. Like, I thought I am done for. And then I really was just like, oh, my God, this is how Jim Morrison died. Oh, I get it now. Like, I could never figure out, how does your life really just slip away like a warm summer day? How does this happen? But I was laying there in my bed sweating. Bullets going, oh, yeah. I get it.
But here's the thing. You say you almost died, and you didn't tell me just randomly till like a few days later.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go,
I didn't want him to freak out.
I go, oh, yeah, that's right. I think he told me, because he gave them to me. He goes, watch out, man. These are harsh.
See,
And-
that's you kept them.
You were still gonna do them?
Yeah, nobody
No.
gave them to me anyway. That's the bitch of it.
Well, because he doesn't do pills.
Yeah, I don't do them. I didn't know what he meant when he was all, watch out, bro. These are harsh. And I was like, she'll figure it out.
Listen.
Like, I've given her
Listen,
these
but
before.
you know the guy that gave them to you, he does pills like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, and then he
that
goes-
would be like Chad Shank handing me a bowl going, watch out, babe. This is going to knock your ass on your ass. And then I would take that warning very seriously.
So, yeah, he did
You better
call
let
me.
that guy cut you off. He's
Yeah.
a badass.
Yeah. So he calls me like a week later. He's like, hey, bro, I got the good ones that you're ready. And I'm like, listen, you almost killed her last time. I'm like, he's all, oh, yeah, bro, I told you they were harsh. Because I did one at Circle K and I couldn't leave the parking lot for like 8 hours.
That's his own Surgeon General's warning. I did say they were harsh. You can't sue me on this.
I didn't even get a discount. He's like, I warned you, bro.
And now, yeah, the guy still wants Joey to pay him.
He's lucky you gave him to Kristine.
No,
Because
he
if
goes-
anybody in this room except her and I took a dose that big, it would have killed you guys.
Yeah.
We got the advantage of
Yes.
being able to take
Well,
something
then he
like that.
nonchalantly goes, oh yeah, he's all, I know they're bad because the guy that I got him for, he's not answering my calls and I owe him money. Who doesn't answer your call when you owe them money? I'm like, dude, you almost
Yeah,
killed
he's
her.
even
Dead guys.
deader in rehab.
These are really the warning label that you should have
Yes.
given to Kristine
Yes,
when
at
you got
any
all
time.
this dialogue. This was
Yes,
I
these
know.
were red
good
flags.
information.
You're right. I
But
fucked
you know
up.
what? We don't talk. We don't
Couples
chit
don't
chat.
talk.
No. Like, I mean, it is true. Like, it was like days later after I was like, oh yeah, hey babe, guess what?
Yeah, you almost killed me.
I was gonna die.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I mean, I didn't want you to freak out or stop bringing me pills. So I was, you know what I mean? I knew I ran the risk. If I
Which does not kill you.
yeah.
It was almost dead. Shit, I mean, it's not worth a lifestyle
and then-
change.
The best part is when you go, you're like,
I asked him for some Advil. And then he was like, well, I got us these blue ones.
yeah, I
Don't
was
take
like,
these.
yeah, I was like, why lose all the money off these? We can get rid of them still. And you're like, no, don't
No.
give these to them. He'll die.
No.
Oh, so those aren't the ones you traded methadone for.
No.
right.
I meant
right.
as like, see, this is
I used to do that with weed because
Yeah.
everyone would fucking always give me weed. And
what use
I
is
go,
this?
I say
Yes.
a million times I don't smoke pot. And
Doesn't matter.
I give you I get a heavy-handed handshake for you. And then all right, who smokes weed? I'll
Mm-hmm.
trade you for something else I like.
That's what I was always doing at the porn store. People would try to tip me weed and I just flick it back at them until I figured out, oh, wait a minute, I can use this as bartering. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
am
stopped
doing?
saying no. Like when
Right.
Chad was on the road with me, I'm not going to say no. I'll just say thanks and then give it to Chad.
Be
Well,
polite.
technically, when I was on the road with you, you specifically asked for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm sure you were smoking more than he was getting as a
No,
casual.
it wasn't coming in quick enough.
Yeah,
is what happened.
that's it.
But then there's that's driving. But when you're flying, even if it's something I would do, in the comfort of my own home, I'm not going to fucking fly with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't imagine how many times I took shit that someone just handed to me.
It happens all the time.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
What do you
I mean,
do?
on stage.
Yes.
One time on stage.
One time.
I remember
There's
one
one time on my Wikipedia page that you can tell when it's an interviewer that doesn't know anything about you and doesn't care. And you can tell when they're just going through beats from your Wikipedia page. And I
Yeah.
guess I don't know if it's still on there, but for a while it said, one time he took an ecstasy pill that was thrown on stage in Scotland. And I go, one time?
One time. No, I do remember one time when someone put some cocaine on the stage. And you
Oh, that was us in
flipped
Amsterdam.
out.
Oh,
You
that
were
was
so-
Minneapolis.
Mhm, and you freaked out and you were like, I can't even touch it. Pick it up. Like you made him get it back.
The guy that was at the Varsity Theater
Mm-hmm.
in Minneapolis,
Yeah.
and this kid, this dopey drunk kid, he walks up it's a fucking spotlight.
Yes.
It's like a 600 seater, and he walks up right, and he's like, "It's a heavy-handed handshake," because I had done a bit about the heavy-handed handshake. I don't smoke pot, and he goes. I go, this is probably not the time or place. And he just kept saying, it's not pot. I go, I don't think you're getting the fact that you're trying to give me drugs in the middle of a show, front row center. That might not be a good idea. It's not pot.
What, is it a Werther's? Like, what are you getting at? Why would you want to hand me anything? It's
But yeah, someone threw me a chocolate on stage at the Arlington Draft House.
Oh, yeah.
Mushroom chocolate. And he just whipped it up there and I just ate it.
oh.
And,
That was where we went to salsa.
yeah.
There was a salsa band afterwards.
So it was Brendan Walsh was on the bill and I ate it. And then I was just coming on as I'm closing.
Ooh.
It's the only way you can do hallucinogens on stage is just time it so you're just hitting there when you're saying thank you, good night. And as I'm walking out, now I'm tripping. The crowd is leaving. We were probably selling merch, and the guy that threw it up there goes, "I can't believe you ate the whole thing." half at best. Like, oh, it's going to be a long night. And it was.
You didn't tell me. There was no note with it.
Yeah. I have to show some bravado. I got fucking booed off stage at the Leeds Festival with people throwing empty water bottles. They're plastic.
Yeah.
And then I got hit with a fucking apple core right as I was about to leave. And I fucking ate it. I ate the core. Fuck you. Good night. But yeah, that night we went out to, I had just bought a new suit from Men's Warehouse. This is before the, all vintage suits.
Is that when we had a day off? And we went
Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Remember the fucking Men's Warehouse?
Yeah.
I remember
It's
the
a strip
year.
mall, obviously. And we were surprised at how much it did cost. Because Men's Warehouse is always like $99.
I went fucking
Yeah.
a little ballistic, and I got a fucking new suit and a new trench coat. What's the cashmere and a scarf and everything. So I looked like Washington D.C. when we're at Arlington, and we're right by the Pentagon. So I decided that after we go to this salsa,
the salsa dance club with a live band, and you were just coming on, and the
and
colors
it's all
were
Latino,
loving
fucking
it.
like 12-piece brass, and people dancing in the fucking
I know.
really dancing
That
to
would
that
be
shit.
amazing.
Fucking and everyone was like, "Who's this fucking suit gringo fuck?" And I was introducing myself to people
What is he doing?
With the
this
top
big?
of the line suit from the Men's Warehouse.
All I was missing was the fucking top hat as like a not from
Monocle.
The
Monocle. Yeah.
Immediately.
big cigarette holder.
So we got out of there, and then Walsh and I decided we were going to storm the Pentagon. But no, it was the Pentagon or one of those fucking something like that, or CIA building. It was some fucking place that you should not even. And we got down to the building and went, we shouldn't be here. It's probably not the Pentagon.
I remember there was a picture.
We were at a Holiday Inn. I know that.
You took a picture of me in a fancy chair, like wingback kind of chair, and I was passed out. And then they're taking pictures. Walsh had gone down into one of the conference rooms and taken an American flag.
No, it was up because we were trying to get on the roof after we disbanded our storm the Pentagon idea.
Somehow you got a flag. I thought you guys got it from
we were
conference
trying to
room.
get on the roof. We found the flag because we tried to get on the roof, and we couldn't figure out how to get on the roof. But since we're on the top floor, they had a big conference room, and we found this giant fucking American
with the
flag.
gold fringe and the eagle on the top and everything. And then they're taking pictures of like trying to stab me with it, but I'm out cold.
Yeah.
They're telling me this the next day, and then I see the pictures.
Well, first you see the flag because it was big enough that you had to like maneuver through the door, like so the back of the flagpole. And the front, like trying to move a giant desk
or a couch.
That's what I was saying.
Can't make it through a thin
Trying to
door.
move a couch through a door.
Wait, you
We
actually
gotta
took the
tilt it this
pole,
way.
too?
No, tilt it.
So
Yeah, it was on a pole.
You took the pole and everything. I'm thinking they just took the flag. They had
That's
the
what I
pole and
thought.
everything.
Yeah, they had everything.
Like, no, you can't wave it if you don't have the pole.
Yeah, you need it. Yeah, how are you going to get through, like, drumline or whatever? You gotta color guard that flag. Woo!
That's not a good story of like not to take drugs on stage
I don't
though.
think
That was
I
a fun night.
Yeah, that was great.
The salsa and everything.
Yeah, I never felt like I was gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, even that.
The next
though,
day,
it's
I
just
felt like I could have died trying to fucking dance in a fucking Latino salsa club.
I don't think I ever told you guys whenever I went to see Bert Kreischer in Tempe. I think it was last year. He did a whole bit on stage about how somebody just gave him a whole bunch of weed and he had to try to get back to California. He was like, "Is there any cops in the audience? Hypothetically, if I have a pound or an ounce of weed and like $5,000 cash on me and I'm trying to get back to California now, how much trouble I'm going to get in?" He did a whole bit about having this weed, and I didn't tell him I was there, so I talked to him after the show. He's like, "Oh, you should have told me you were here." And anyways, I left and I'm headed down the stairs and I hear "Shank, come here!"
Yeah.
I go back up and he goes, "Hey, you want this weed, man? I don't want to take this weed." I was like, "Yeah, I want that weed." He gives me a jar. I was all happy.
Oh,
"Let's grab this
nice.
weed." And then as I got in the car, I realized, like, you know, somebody else already thought he was giving them that weed. You just took some other poor motherfucker's weed, you selfish bastard. You should have said, I'll take half, and whoever is going to get can have the other half. But I was just excited to get it. But yeah, that's what your heavy handshake story reminded me
Oh,
of.
no. I remember one time, was it the time we were at the Comedy Store and Joe Rogan gave you a bucket of mushrooms that were already in capsules, only they were in like a meathead muscle milk or something, vitamin type.
Did you say as we're leaving the Comedy
As
Store?
we're leaving.
I have never remembered leaving the Comedy Store.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
Thanks, Kerry Mitchell.
Doug still thinks he's at the Comedy Store. He's never left.
I didn't know we weren't supposed to tell him.
I think I've been to the Comedy Store with you a couple of times, but it may just be one. I'm not sure.
There's a lot of rooms. It can seem like a lot of nights.
But anyway, we you didn't want to fly home with it, but we did anyway. And you may not have remembered that it was in your bags or something, but no problems.
Well,
We did it.
there have been times
I wasn't there.
when
No.
they're
There's
when
no
they're
way
in
I was there.
capsules.
No, you weren't there.
I've taken chances several
And they
times.
were just in the little But yeah, normally, I mean, you know, we're not like we're riding around dirty all the time, officers. We don't do that either.
Never.
Just
And we never have cash on the road, by the way. And
Yeah.
Bert was just mistaken. He had a check. Is what it
Yes.
It was a bit. It was-
Yeah, it's just a bit. That's all comedy is. You know?
Hyperbole.
It's just lots of fun stuff.
I did.
Okay.
I was flying after. I had like $7,000 on me, and no, this is years ago. This was before fucking credit cards, and you had swipe.
Mm-hmm. You gotta have the cash on
Oh,
you.
fuck it.
Right.
All right, yeah. Sometimes I have $7,000 on me.
Hmm. Do you have to claim it or anything, or?
No, that's the point of this
No,
story.
right.
Is I had one of those secret safes, and it was like for foot deodorant spray, and you unscrew the bottom,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like,
So I-
like a Desinex spray can,
yeah,
but it's fake.
right.
Yeah.
But I had that in my carry-on, and they fucking flagged me because my secret safe, I realized, is an aerosol can that you can't bring on carry-on.
Throw this away. No.
Please
And she
don't.
goes, "You can't have this." I reached for it. I go, "No, it's," and she goes, "Don't touch it."
Oh,
And then everyone
shit.
swarms over. There's like adrenaline in the air, and I go, "No, it's not really an aerosol can. Unscrew the bottom." And then she pulls out the cash, and then they fucking, "What's this
great.
for?"
Oh my
What's
God.
this for?
Yeah.
It's money. What is money for? What, you don't know what money is for?
Hey, don't get
You know,
sassy.
food, drinks.
Oh, yeah.
These are
so
the wrong
that's
people
what-
to get sassy with.
That's where it went.
Yeah.
And they, "Are you leaving the country?" And what's $10,000 is,
That's the limit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I go, "No, I'm going." I go, because my next stop was leaving the country.
Yeah.
But on that leg, no. I go, eventually I will be. But no, not on this trip. And then they like went to a supervisor, and
Oh,
then they
my
made
God.
me wait. And it's one of those bullshit things. But asset forfeiture is such a huge thing. It's like
They
jury
love it.
nullification
They
that
love it.
no one knows about while you're fucking worried about some Trump fucking tweet. Shit that really goes on
Right.
and matters. They can just, they swab it. Oh, it tested positive for cocaine. So we think you're a drug dealer, and it's up to you to fucking fight us to get it back and go through a
Right.
court.
And
they
fight
do
for years.
There's towns that fucking live on this kind of shit.
Texas. There's a documentary on
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It's fucking crazy because there's a story of a guy who had cash because he was going to buy an engagement ring. I mean, I don't know who's right or wrong and all this stuff, but it just seems fucking dubious that guy lost all that money and his car.
Yep.
And had to try to prove that he was going to buy a ring, which he didn't
Why
buy
should
it. He
you-
doesn't have a receipt for almost buying a ring.
Right.
You know, and then that town, I mean, I don't think it happens as much back.
There's one in
On the-
Nevada where a professional gambler, I think he was Vietnamese, he fucking gambles huge money in Reno, and he's going on one of those fucking back roads in Nevada, and they pulled him over for nothing and took all his cash and prove it.
And where does that money go? To the fucking police department.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
keep
the-
it.
Yeah,
It's
so they
fucking-
could buy a tank in Ely, Nevada.
Yep.
All right, let's take a break and all right. Hey, Thanks for joining us, listeners. How about you go pour yourself a nice, refreshing cocktail?
Oh.
TheShadyDell.com. That is where you stay. If you come to Bisbee and you're staying at the Shady Dell and I'm in town, I will have a beer with you. I won't hang out that long. We're not going to be good friends. I don't want you to fucking tell me you're going to kill yourself. But if you're staying at theshadydell.com, vintage trailer park with all 50s, 60s trailers that we live a mile away from, and we look for reasons to go stay there. Come to theshadydell.com. Sponsored by. I might even come in and clean your toilet. I don't know.
This is Bingo. You are listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
All right. Also, thank yous. Ronnie Trung. I guess he was here for the Gem Show from San Pablo, California. I leave this in the mailbox. I was in Vegas.
Tom intercepted
Tom
him.
was there.
But the Gem Show is a huge thing that happens here where it makes all the hotel rooms 3 times as much.
Unfucking believable.
But he had a day off.
I hate it, and it's like a month long.
Yeah, Joey and I just went. I mean, we went to go see. We went
It's
to go
the whole city.
We just went. We just went and talked to some hippies, and it was weird.
Yeah. Fucking terrible.
It's tense. It's all fucking tense in vacant lots, right?
It's weird. Yeah,
I just drove by there today.
It's crazy.
Yeah, just random places.
Tent
and they
city.
Pick it
Yes.
for the only 2 weeks in Tucson that it definitely rains.
Oh, good for them.
Good.
The methamphetamine festival.
Yeah.
Who else collects rocks?
So anyway, he dropped off. He says, I'm no Clark Adams, but I'm a huge fan. I stopped drinking and doing drugs, but I wanted to break my streak and drink with you. I wasn't here. So as a gift, please accept my Argentinian silver ring. It actually fits me.
It's got some weight.
Yeah.
That's
it's
really
very
nice. But did he fall off the wagon? That's what I want to know.
No, because I wasn't here to drink with him.
Fuck.
That's even better.
I want to see the ring.
And
Well, if he wants to, Doug.
here's a thank you correction. I gave Wally Glenn credit for that unusable magnetic sign. That's just you can't do
Führer's
that.
furnace.
Yeah,
Hilarious, but it doesn't leave the funhouse.
yeah, it's hilarious.
We got a couple more of those, and I put them outside on the funhouse so they can. But
Well,
we
that's
can't
what. That's what. Let me thank Mike. Michael, I'm not even going to say your last name because that shouldn't be attached to you either. You probably have a fucking real job that you could get fired from. But sorry, I gave Wally credit or detriment when it was you the whole time.
Wally never emailed and said it wasn't his.
Okay, since then,
Well,
and I don't have names for most of these, several magnetic signs for the car have come in. Some of them are fucking huge. Like, if you're going to make a sign, this is the new rule. Yeah, I stole that from Bill Maher. New rule.
I think 12 by 18 is the preferred size.
Yeah.
Or smaller.
Or smaller.
Yeah,
It doesn't
we
matter.
can put it on the pickup truck.
But here's it. Don't make up these signs anymore because we got some that are just so fucking dumb. Even camel towing, which I
love
gave
it.
credit for. There's actual places named camel towing. Like
Oh my God.
Once I tweeted that picture, they're like, yeah, that's actually a real thing from this city. It's a real thing. All right, someone's done it, and now I'm the hack promoting it.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll swap that one
What
out.
You got a
disappointment.
meme on the side of your car.
Yeah. Cool story, bro.
Yeah. Whoever sent the Doug's meats. Yeah, maybe you should listen to Phil Hendry from 1990.
Oh, that's Ted's.
Ted's of Beverly Hills. We want to put our meat in your mouth. Shout out to Phil Hendry.
We can't sing the melody because then we
All
have to
right.
pay.
So if you want to do a sign, I appreciate, and I'm not judging you. These fucking things cost money, and I know that. And I hate the fact that you're sending me things I'll never put on the van because they're either too dumb. The one that came in that was I will put on because people is John Wayne Gacy's Clown School.
that was from
Kids
Bill.
of all ages.
That was from Bill.
Okay, Bill Nash?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Nice.
Yeah, I can use that one. But then there's some others that they're either too sophomoric, 9th grade humor or just too dark and ugly.
The other one,
Nambla Taxi.
That's also built.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can't put.
No.
But what we're going to do with these ones, the clunkers.
If yours wasn't specifically mentioned, assume it was too dark and not sophomoric humor, and you'll feel better about yourself.
But for you, don't think your money was spent in vain, because what we will do is put these on other people's cars that have out-of-state plates. Any car that or U-Haul, yeah, and put it on where they won't notice. We'll put it on the passenger side.
Yeah,
on a motorhome somewhere where they're not going to see it on the back.
The Gem and Rock show would be perfect. Just get a backpack.
Oh shit!
full
We
of
can
them.
send some with Kristine Levine
Yeah,
to put
yeah.
on tourist cars and let them drive around
all
fucking
over.
town.
Oh, and then I'll take photographic evidence.
Good.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay.
All right, so
We're in.
I
We're
really
in,
appreciate
Sure.
because I understand that you did put time and effort and money into doing these, and we're not here like America's fucking Got Talent for magnetic signs. I'm not going to shit on you.
Stanhope used a current reference. He didn't say the Gong Show. I'm so shocked.
Good job, babe. Nice.
I think you beat him though with the Gong Show.
I was talking about America's Got Talent with the original hosts.
Oh,
Piers Morgan's version. What a cunt that guy is. I should put him in my spite pool. So, Chad, you have thank yous?
I do have thank yous. I have Grant. Listened to the last no, not the last podcast. It was the one where I talked about the Dead Man's Line documentary. Tony Kuritzis. He's from Indiana. So he made a T-shirt. He said for his band with Tony Kuritzis on the front.
The band
of it.
is Trucker Speed.
Trucker Speed. He sent us a CD too to check it out.
Yeah.
Grant Gilman and Trucker Speed.
I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
The video was the one with the guy who fashioned the dead man, the shotgun around the guy's
Yeah,
neck.
That's what we were
Around his
still
neck.
talking about at the beginning of this podcast.
Because I pulled out a pile of T-shirts. So thanks, Grant. Appreciate that. There's a bunch of them. There's one for my fat ass, and there's some for the skinnier folks. I got a package from my friend Zorgon. He hangs his screen name on my Twitch stream. I know him from there. And it says, "This is Zorgon when you do a shot," and then they cut off your message, Zorgon, at Amazon Prime. What they also did is sent an empty Amazon Prime envelope. So unless you meant to send me air, you have a beef with Amazon Prime, Zorgon. I'll talk to you on the stream probably about it. So
Your Twitch feed is
HD_fatty.
twitch.tv/HD_fatty.
Thanks, shit.
It's you don't have to play video games for it to be fun. You just get on and talk shit. I have a blast in here.
It's more of a party than a
Chaille
video
plays
game.
it over the main TV, and so yeah, we get to.
And then I have one more, and it's this giant package that came in. I was gonna unwrap it, but I showed you guys before this picture. Brittany at Blank Face Studios in Korea does these portraits, and I forget who now.
How come
Somebody.
you can't open it up and show it to us?
Well, I can, but I still have to get it home. Can we package it back up? I'm
I got
pretty
tape.
drunk already.
I got tape.
All right. Well, you want me to open it right
No,
now?
you just
and
keep
we don't
saying
drink
things
and
in-
drive
Yeah,
here
say
at the
it big.
Funhouse.
No, we do
Well,
not.
well, I have a designated
Yes, you
driver.
do.
Yes,
But I have to take it home, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to unpack it. But it's
Oh, my
it's
God.
Blank Face Studios is one of the things I saw a long time ago. And she does portraits with no faces, and I liked it because even ugly people can be pieces of art.
Yes, put my
And,
face in it. Yeah, I love
and
it.
it takes your face away. But
Yeah.
she
She's Kristine is saying the opposite, that she wants just her face.
No,
and
no.
not,
I mean, my face isn't my best feature. I know you think it is.
well,
but
you used to
it's
do a
not.
bit about it.
No.
I never said it
No,
or thought it.
I've gotten 20 years older since then, babe.
No, I never said it or thought it. She used to talk about, well, I'm cute for a fat girl. I went,
Well, that's just because my dad used to say that to me.
yeah.
And then,
as he fed you.
now clean your plate, dummy. Okay. That's it.
It had to come from Korea. It's packed pretty well.
Oh my God! I called Gump over to open up shit like that. Like
Yeah.
and the people
That
who
looks like
send
exercise.
you, the people who send you, I don't know why they still make them. The mailers that have like what looks like fiberglass in them.
Yes.
It's like dust rot insulation that falls out.
It is insulation, like it's meant.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
With the celebrity death pool.
Yeah.
But what's hilarious
Jenny,
is
you're stunning.
it looks like he has a face because they kept his facial hair, his hat, and his sunglasses.
Which ironically are all things that I use to cover up my face. But in a blank face portrait, it looks like I have. But I do have the death pool shirt on. That's beautiful. I love it.
It's gorgeous.
Thanks, Brittany. She wrote a letter.
I got it.
I didn't read it yet. Here's the thing. Gives the name. As soon as you showed an interest in my artwork, I bragged to my dear friend Jed Jones. We both have listened to the podcast since the beginning, and we equally share your sentiment with the general public. So Jed immediately offered to pay for this painting. It was a lot of fun and more to work on. Hey, thanks, Jed and Brittany.
Yeah, that's a labor right there.
And I'll tell you right now, that's an expensive painting. So I really appreciate that. That's a nice piece of art.
It's expensitive shipping.
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah,
it's just the fucking magnetic signs. Like some of those, they're like fucking 3 feet long and they're heavy as shit. Like I think pull a car door off. And one last was for bingo. Connor sent he made some montage of he had like all these Marlboro cigarette packages. He cut off different types of Marlboro. He just made a fucking
trash
thing. Yeah, he made a piece of art out of cigarette package.
Here, you throw it away.
Yeah.
That will be available at your thrift store, Bisbee Road, starting tomorrow.
I do love how people will make you stuff. Yeah, but I love how people make you stuff, and then like 6 months later, it's like bye bye.
Recycle.
They can't keep all this shit.
Top tier.
I love he autographed it on the outside of the glass. Like it's a piece of art, but he didn't think, I should put my name on it till after. Fuck, I'm not taking it all out. It's just like you and repackaging that painting. I had somewhere to go at the end of this, but I get some. These are brief notes.
Well, those were the thank yous.
I don't know if you, the listener, have nextdoor.com. It's a Facebook / Craigslist just for your neighborhood.
But it's an app that you download, and then based on your zip code and your location.
Well, it's also a website. I don't do apps.
But the app on your phone, you don't have to go to the website, and you can get notices when something's going on in your neighborhood. Or
lost dog. It's great here.
Having a garage sale, because we live in a little township.
Well, in Bisbee, of 5,000 people, our section of Bisbee is Warren. So it's specific for the Warren neighborhood of Bisbee. So I don't know how it works. I know Morgan Murphy has it for Silver Lake, and I don't.
Yeah, they have it in my neighborhood too, but I don't like neighbors, so I don't want to talk to them.
Well, the biggest thread ever, except for when I was.
They're probably talking about you on it.
That's what I'm afraid of.
There was one I trolled it a little bit, but again, you have to be soft here. And
you had something about the butterfly.
Yeah, there's spring of butter. There's yellow butterflies flying all over the place for a couple of weeks, and I said that I had hired crop dusters to come down to get rid of this plague of butterflies. Like I was doing a service to the neighborhood. And,
were they outraged?
But a couple of people were like, you can't do that one. The attorney general hears about
illegal.
that. And I go, well, next it's going to be ladybugs. I just kept fucking with it. That was the longest thread by far.
Until
Stanhope is trolling non-public forums.
The people he's going to walk by on the street. I mean, these are the people. This is our neighborhood.
They'll know me. I won't know them.
But trolling.
But there's been a couple of tweakers that have been stealing shit out of people's fucking yards. And this thread is going like I'm waiting for it to go Lord of the Flies with fucking vigilante justice. Because at one point some lady took a picture of a guy with a bald head and a biker beard, and he said he's mapping out sewer lines for the city, and that sounded suspicious. And then someone else chimes in, I think that's Bruce McGillicuddy that works for the water department.
He works for the city. And
He's just naturally thin. We don't have fluoride
No,
in
he
the
wasn't
water.
thin at all. He looked like Chad Shank with a bald head.
There's
broad
national-style conspiracy theories happening on the neighborhood level at this
He had
point.
plans in his hand.
next to a truck, a city truck with a magnetic sign on the side.
Yeah, we all know magnetic
And
signs.
even the lady
Yeah,
said
yeah.
that looks just like she was still suspicious.
Yeah.
But there is this guy who's a tweaker that is known, and he wears the same red and black hunter flannel, the red and black flannel with hoodie. And so there's a lot of pictures of him, and then that's the fucking guy. So people know this is a guy who's just
Lynching.
he's stealing shit out of people's cars.
Out of their mailboxes. It's like they've seen him
mailboxes,
steal something
glove
out of a
boxes.
mailbox. And then someone goes, is this the guy? And they post a picture on this Nextdoor app. And someone goes, that's the guy who stole the fucking mail from my mom's mailbox.
But it's also a picture of a guy from a shitty fucking cell phone camera at night with but always
anybody.
the same hunter red and
who
black
obviously
flannel.
doesn't have Nextdoor.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing the same thing every time.
If he had a laptop, he would have pawned it by now. And he certainly doesn't do apps.
Or repaired it, taking it apart.
So I read these, the threads, and I'm like, I'm thinking vigilante justice and setting traps. Like, hey, let's set up a fucking, put a fucking watch with all my windows up at like perfectly obvious trap.
Just a bunch of copper wire.
In your car.
In your car.
My,
Just
my first thought is, can you please post on your neighborhood app that I will sleep in your car for a reasonable rate?
What you ought to
Signed
do,
Derek.
what you should do is take a picture of your worst magnetic sign and then say, "Oh, someone just stole this off my car, and I think I know who it was. I want it back, like that."
Yeah,
one.
the Führer's one.
Führer's furnace.
Somebody took the Führer's furnace.
off my vehicle.
Did you see this?
Well,
I'm a small businessman
God damn
trying
it.
to do right in this town.
Do you know how big my gas bill is?
I'm losing business.
But then I thought, instead of the vigilante justice way, let's go the other way and troll nextdoor.com. I was going to buy 6 hunter flannel hoodies and have all of us walk down different streets at the same time. Oh, I saw him at 1:30 on my street. No, I saw him at
That's
1:30.
impossible. He was on my street picking flowers.
Was anything taken? Nothing. Not here either.
He made the area better. He picked up trash.
Oh my god! I did troll my next door people in my neighborhood when I lived in Portland. I was we had a big homeless, I wouldn't say problem, an encampment, let's say. And my neighbors were just all freaking out about it. And I told them that like I feed them. And I was like running a soup kitchen out of my house, and it made them crazy. They just flipped out.
That's some Brendan Walsh shit right there.
They just were, and then one guy was so mad at me for doing this, and he called them vermin and just like said a whole bunch of bad things about homeless people. And then I said, "Hey, thanks," and I took screen caps of it and then put it in his Yelp review that I put it because he owned a business. He was a limo driver.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were terrible limos, but anyway, I was like, "This guy's garbage."
I stayed at the fucking Rio. You might have heard the last podcast from the Rio, and that fucking hotel just got worse on every level, and I was just snapping. And I wrote it's on TripAdvisor and Expedia had the truncated version. They only allow you so many characters. But
Wait,
fuck
Rio, the
Rio.
all suites
The
hotel?
all suites, yeah.
It's not good anymore?
Oh, they're gonna tear it down, is the rumor.
Is it cheap?
The promise.
It was I got a great suite for cheap. It was
your square footage was twice what your house is.
my house, yeah, 1,600 square foot. It's right off the strip, but it's like so
right next to Tommy
they
Rockers.
stripped down, and like they just finger fuck you.
They got a realtor bringing in people selling your furniture out of your room. What do you think about this cabinet? Will this work for you?
We'll just be a minute.
$12.
Like nothing on the Expedia page was true for years. Like it said, it's like a New England style seafood restaurant. I'm like, fuck, maybe they have whole belly fried clams. Like, nah, that hasn't been here for years. It's just all this shit that they said they have that they don't have so please read and like those reviews. TripAdvisor, Yelp. I
wish I was
pile on those.
I wish I was smart and intelligent enough like you to make a Yelp review and pile on. I have customer service problems and I just fucking yell at them like an asshole, like it's their fault.
Yeah, and then it's over.
Yeah, and then you don't get any satisfaction. Like your best line, like I asked to talk to the supervisor, and she immediately tells me the same thing as the other guy. I go, so as the supervisor, you have the same exact fucking answer as the person before you. Why are you getting paid more than him? But there's nobody there to hear any of my wit. It's completely wasted.
You had the best advice years ago on the podcast was you want to talk to someone stateside.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a way to cut the crap.
I'm sure they found a way to block that.
Yeah, they've worked that around.
As a matter of fact, I am going to do what I did back then, and I am going to give out the CenturyLink stateside customer service number.
Before you do that, let me just say that at the Quiet House, I forgot that we finally dumped CenturyLink, and it's such an incredible feeling when you get to just go, I'm canceling your shit service. But I forgot we still have it at the Quiet House, so I get to do it again. And I talked to the lady from CenturyLink who was adorable, and I go, but no, it's such a beautiful feeling to fire them. Them.
I canceled CenturyLink 5 months ago when I started streaming because I had to get better internet service. And I said the exact same thing. I'm like, I've had you guys for 14 years and you have no idea how satisfying this is. Yeah. I just had to get it back the other day.
You say, listen, I'm going to yell for like 3 to 4 minutes, and it's not about you at all.
I say that.
I know this is not you, but you have to understand how pissed I am.
But I'm going to yell.
But that's what I always say. Sorry, I'm going to have to yell at you, but that's because Mr. CenturyLink will not answer the phone.
So you just buckle down and take the beating.
I don't think I told this when we had CenturyLink here, because you got it in a package with DirecTV and everything, and then we started putting in the network and getting everything hooked up around here. I had to call, and we were having some problems with our router, and then I'm talking to the guy, and it's in Doug's name. And I have to do this quite often around here because the utilities are in Doug's name. Doug has no patience for any of this shit.
So you have to pretend to be Mr.
Yeah, it's my one job. So, who am I speaking to? This is Doug. And your last name? Stanhope. And then, we go through we go through all that stuff. And then we get through everything and we get the router up. And this was with CenturyLink. And at the end, he goes, gotta tell you, Mr. Stanhope, big fan. The whole time he's talking to me, and I go, I gotta tell you, this is Chaille. He goes, oh, Chaille? He listens to the fucking podcast and everything.
That's fantastic.
So, as much as we moved because we had better bandwidth, and the service was just better through Cable One.
Oh yeah,
and we had to drop it. We're not mad at the people that work there. They were always
the
very
lady
nice.
said, "Listen, there's some towns where it just doesn't work well."
Yeah,
the dudes that come out to my house, the actual technicians, they're like, why? I don't know why they're trying to sell you 12 megabytes per second. Yeah, you can't get 12 megabytes per second.
You don't even have the
lying motherfuckers.
Yeah. Save me a check on that.
Yeah. They're always cool as fuck. One of the problems I had with CenturyLink though is I would call to talk to customer service or technical support, and you get a call center in India. And if you have a difficult problem, they will hang up on your ass, and you have to call back and do the whole thing again. So at one point, I learned
accidentally disconnected
for a stateside.
And here's the number. So if you have CenturyLink and you have technical support issues, the number to call for a stateside tech support is 1-855-25-7109.
And how did you come by this?
I asked for a stateside. I said, I'm tired of talking to people from overseas. Do you have customer service? I got one of the cool people. I talked to a guy for a while. We were on the phone for almost an hour troubleshooting my stuff. And you get to bullshitting with him, and he was cool. Man. And I told him the problem I had, and he said, call this.
When I,
yeah,
early, when I was putting out CDs or early DVDs, PayPal would shut me down when I'd put one out. Because that day, all of a sudden you got all this money, and that's suspicious. And they would just shut off your account.
There'd be a spike in
and they
deposits.
Red flag that, and then they freeze your assets, but you can't get a hold of anyone there. And then when I would Google other people that have had this problem, would find out like actual
Here's a number
direct to someone's fucking desk. Yeah. Call and go, hey, Bill Phillips' office. Hey, what the fuck is going on with my account?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I was
going to say, Tom Konopka has been doing work around here, and so we sit in the truck a lot. And I fucking love his stories. They're so, I got to drive. So, and there's no radio in the truck. And Tom just starts talking.
He's great.
And then all of a sudden he gets a fucking phone solicitor call while we're waiting in line at like a pilot car, to get to our storage unit to bring it all back. So I'm like, I'm going to sit here for like 8 minutes. And I'm like, Tom, take the call. And he's all, and he does it. And he starts, cause Tom, him and Doug worked, boiler rooms for years, right? And Tom goes into like a Middle Eastern, like if you told me he knew how to speak Farsi, I would have to say, fucking Tom can translate for you. Because he went into some fucking thing where I'm like, what the fuck? And Tom hangs up the phone because the guy hung up on him. He goes, now that guy will take me off the list. Because I'm not a guy. I'm not a douchebag who tried to make a joke.
I'm not a douchebag.
Those guys don't care. Those guys don't care. They'll just move you onto another list. I'm off the list. It's fucking great.
Oh my God.
Fuck yeah.
I wish I could do that with my doctors though. I mean, I wish I could be like, when an Indian doctor comes in or a doctor from Nigeria, I wish I could be like, can I talk to somebody stateside? Wink. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see. With a doctor, I would prefer.
They're as qualified as anyone else.
No.
They don't know
the communication.
It's not like I don't have a problem with their nationality or their color. I'm not a racist. I'm a languagist. I want them to speak whole English, all the way their whole life.
Or comprehend what you're saying.
Or colorful. I had a guy, I mean, even maybe the language isn't too bad, or the nationality, not for sure not, but one time I had a doctor that had Tourette's, and he refused to acknowledge it. That's what pissed me off.
I'm not only a doctor. I'm a patient.
Yeah. He would go, okay, well, Kristine, it looks like you have, well, I mean, I think
maybe you have.
And instead of cussing, he taught himself to go. But then, I was like, "Are you really not even going to talk about what you're just fucking doing in the middle of a sentence?
You can't even acknowledge it."
Yeah, can you not even
say that? My dad would tear the most horrific, beautiful, audible farts, just and not flinch. And you go, that's funny. If you lifted a leg and did that.
Drive it home.
Yeah, a little razzle dazzle.
Do a little gun finger at me.
But for you to just do that while you're scrambling eggs and not address it makes it fucking awkward and terrible.
Yeah. Does not even say anything about it.
No, pull my finger. Pull my finger. I get a tick.
Oh shit.
But okay, can I get somebody stateside? I'm gonna do that. Got it.
Can I get a stateside doctor?
Can I get a stateside doctor? Or just you
could probably. I mean, to actually try to help you with your situation, you could probably just ask for RN or someone else to come in and help you out
and help you talk to them. Yeah, a lot of times. I don't know if it's,
they don't want to miscommunicate anything.
No. I know that they are, but I can tell just by the way they respond to me that they're not getting what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
these guys probably don't understand that we are at the whim of whoever we have to see. We don't get a choice.
I know.
We're poor. Here's the thing.
I get people shoved down my throat.
This is what you get, bitch.
Yeah. You're gonna get the Nigerian.
You're also the
culture.
people that judge pills by color.
That's,
Well, and texture. And texture.
Tit for tat.
Yeah, come on.
I
But only
posted
because
a.
I have to.
Did you take a pill that you didn't even know what it was?
I posted a picture.
What are you, idiot?
Are you gonna talk about that part?
The VA gave me some pills a while back, and when they sent it to me, it has a list of side effects that is like 9 feet long when it's unfolded. I hung it up and took a picture of it because at first I was like, this is disturbing. And then it dawned on me, so I tweeted it, and I was like, I always get disturbed when I see the side effects of prescribed medicines, but then I remind myself that I've done drugs from strangers that I never asked a single question about. Like, not a pill even, just snorted it. I don't know what that is. I'll snort it.
Wow.
Is this going to help me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I take the same approach with psych meds. Is this going to help me? I'll take it.
Me and Andy ended up buying drywall from a dealer out in Peoria, and we both had to test it. Because I didn't believe Andy. I go, come on now, Andy.
Andy will say it's bunk drugs just so he can bogart it.
I guess I'll go get a Heineken.
I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, but Andy Andrews' drug stories are the best because he's the only one. Do you remember when we went? I don't remember where I flew in to see you guys.
Denver.
But we bought some. No, it was before that.
With
we
the
bought
meth.
some coke.
Oh, that was
We bought some
Michigan.
coke
We
from
thought
a
we
guy.
did.
And it turned out to be methamphetamine. And Andy brings it in and I go, that's not coke, dude, that's meth. And he's like, fuck. Well, he said that, we can talk to him. We went back downstairs. Andy gave it back to him and told him it was meth.
It was under the guise of, hey, dude, we just met. I think you made a mistake.
Yeah.
This is not our order.
He tried to implement the return policy and the guy was like, oh,
I'll be right back.
My bad, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And he took off and never came back.
Andy's still at that bar.
We didn't even get the meth we paid for. Oh, shit.
Remember when we were in Amsterdam and we did get the meth?
I was talking to.
Turned out to be just high quality Coke. That's how good Amsterdam is.
I was talking to Bart from Alaska because I wanted to talk about the Alaska Comedy Festival coming up. But Bart called me last night and he was asking about Andy, and so I go, just got to keep Andy on the straight and narrow, and like.
Oh, Andy's going up there.
Oh, Andy
and
Brett Erickson.
Yeah.
And I go, and Brett
April.
Erickson. Fuck. I go, Brett Erickson is your go-to because he saved us in Amsterdam.
Yes.
And he's like, what? I go, listen, Bart, I've known you for 20 years. I did more drugs in 3 days in Amsterdam than all of high school and like 5 years after. It was fucking 3 crazy fucking nights. And Erickson fucking pulled us through.
He kept all of us together.
Well,
and kept the
because
show together.
you guys
Except
bailed on
for-
your sets.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God, the worst shows.
I mean, they were terrible.
I was depressed.
Yeah.
I was not doing drugs the whole time. I was depressed the whole time.
You should have been doing drugs.
Yeah. I mean,
I felt like I was too old to wake up in tents like Erickson did.
You weren't in
With strangers.
You weren't
their
in the
tents.
green room with us when the green room in that little shack thingy or
The closets?
The closets, yeah. You weren't in there when the guy from Canada came in and broke a light bulb and made us smoke it out of a 20.
No.
Like broke a light bulb to like.
No, I heard all the stories. I
we were there because they locked us in to the camping area,
yeah, we had to
and we had to
stay.
come back. Oh, this
I bailed back to the long ride back to the sad
And then we
hotel.
got ecstasy with more meth in it. It was
that was
crazy.
the first time I snorted ecstasy.
God.
Oh wait, hold on. The only time I snorted
Yes,
ecstasy.
I know.
Let me.
Plug that because
plug
this is a podcast.
This is the Alaska Before You Die Comedy Festival, April 2nd through the 7th, 2019. We've got Brett Erickson, Andy Andrus, Kyle Kinane,
Holy
Derek
shit.
Sheen.
Yeah.
There's some secret shows happening in
I wanna
Birdhouse late night.
Mine might be one of them.
Well, hold on.
I
We
don't
can do
know.
that. We'll do
I'm
that off.
No,
off
I
thing.
have no plan.
There's 44 comics flying up for this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
This seems
4
so
of them
much
are
fun.
being paid. These are all, and I go, that's beautiful. That's how you get people to
Knane
go
is a
there.
guy I always thought we could do a tour together, but I don't know him.
Oh, he's great.
I know. I love him. It's just when you bring that up, you're like, I don't know what he gets paid, and pay gets weird, and I don't know what fan base he has. Like I'd be more afraid of touring with someone where my fan base didn't like them. I know my fan base would love Kyle Kinane.
Well, that was the Hedberg and
Stephen Lynch
thing, where Hedberg was like, he'd be going on second, and Lynch already did his set, and it was equal sets, and you'd be at a fucking 2,000 seater with fucking balcony, and Hedberg would be going into his fucking set, and then someone would go, Stephen Lynch, and he'd be like, hey man. This ain't a contest. You seen him?
Right.
What's wrong? I like him.
Yeah.
We're friends. This isn't a thing.
So sweet.
And he stopped the show. I distinctly remember that night. It was a bummer because it bummed him out.
Yeah.
That I was like, why? This is not.
He was the most sensitive guy you
Yeah.
could imagine. Like, that's why he would turn his back to the audience. And
there would be you just talked about that last night, and that reminded me of that. He would do something, and it was probably more rooted in his shyness than anything else. And everyone's like, oh, there's the drugs. Or they do something like that. Or like the set, it would be a sold out fucking thing. And one person from some chick would yell out from the balcony, Stephen Lynch, during his thing. And it would that would ruin his night.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it would ruin my
Mitch,
night.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
That place was sold out. And they were there for both of you guys. And that one person is the one that bummed you out. And it's like, because comics focus on the one person with their arms crossed. I could have been watching a movie, but everyone else is happy, and it's heartbreaking.
I wonder if like chicks in ballet focus on the one dude, because for my shows it's always the girlfriend that hates me. It's arms crossed and the guy's laughing, and then they break up afterwards. I wonder if they see the guy sleeping. He's got
with a program over his face.
He's got his T-shades on
his nose, creased over his nose.
Yeah.
If you don't like this, I don't know you anymore.
I always focus on the guy that was trying to get laid and slept through it.
So I say Alaska Before You Die Comedy Festival, Anchorage, Alaska. There's a bunch of venues, and like I said, there's 44 comics that are coming up on their own dime to fucking just be a part of this festival. It's the first time they're doing it. Cass Smiley is the one who's putting it all together. We know her. Mm-hmm. And it's the 2nd through the 7th, 2019.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And if you see Kyle Kinane up there, say, hey, you want to do a fucking mini tour with Stanhope? He still drinks.
Stanhope makes inroads via pod calls.
I'm very shy.
That's how we got the
Oh
End
my
of the
God,
World
I'm
podcast.
working on a book, which I really want to do. I won't get into the business parts, but where I have to call some people to get some details, and even it's fucking. I got to talk to Sal and Quinn from the Jokers first, and I'm like, I don't want to bother them. So yeah, shout out at them. I need to bother you. I just
So
need
they call
15
you.
minutes of phone time to just get, the story I'm gearing towards. But I was drunk for those 5 days, and there's some necessary details that I remember you. I don't know if you podcast. Yeah, I need to talk to you. And there's going to be a few people throughout that book that I need to talk to, because it's a fucking, this is the book I want to write. This is the book I'm writing without having cashed a check and then waiting on a deadline. This is the book I fucking want to write.
Oh.
And it's
pre-pitch, right? There's no
You've
buyer.
seen me.
I'm saying there's no buyer.
I've been out here for fucking 2 days just going through research material like this. Oh, this fucking lines up even better. Like, it's such a strong opening, closing, just chunk of, this is a,
Nice.
So,
What's it
but
like?
It's a pop-up book, right?
Sounds great.
all right, that's a podcast. Thank you, Kristine Levine and Joey. I don't know your last name. You don't have one. It's Levine now, as far as we're concerned. You had to take. You don't even get the dash.
I know. I'm riding her coattails.
Yes,
That's what everyone says.
God.
He's riding your coattails.
she has a lot of them. Chad Shank, follow him on at HDFatty on Twitter, or at twitch.tv/HD_fatty.
Holy shit.
Ggreg Chaille, Aille. I get so many emails. Chaille, however it's spelled. Well,
if you need to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me.
You'll find him. Yeah, just call CenturyLink customer service and say, "Is this Ggreg Chaille's number?"
Oh, I just broke 10,000 on Twitter followers.
Woo!
Oh, barely?
Goddamn time.
Congratulations. Took you a while.
Well, I don't have a Twitch. I don't play video games in front of 12-year-olds, so I don't know.
Chaille at one time, a long time ago, started up some sort of mock contest between us, and since then I've been
I did a dumb thing. Yeah, I did a thing that lost me fucking followers. So
I will be back on the road. I just spent a week in Vegas with the Hennigan. We did some drinking and some antics, but we also get some business done. So I will be back out. I got to film the special from the shit you've already heard, and then go back and start the new set. But I'm taking notes. I'm working. I'm taking my vitamins. I'm drinking smoothies with beets and asparagus and kale, and not drinking enough water. So drink more water. Don't drink and drive.
And we the Trans World Halloween show is coming up in St. Louis. I'll be there with my brother, Ghostwrite Productions. It's our 20th year going to the show.
Nice.
And that is in St. Louis. And what the fuck is the date? Come on. They have the worst
That's all right,
fucking
because I'm going
website.
to plug who else.
March 21st to the 24th at the Americas Center. Come on down.
And who else is going to be there? Plug for our friend Johnny Dare from Kansas City.
Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
Dare
He
always
comes
comes.
out.
His whole backyard
Did
is
you
full of your
fucking
stuff.
see the production? Did you guys look at? I'll put it on here afterwards. There's fucking pyrotechnics like a Kiss fucking show. I'm like, dude, this is next level shit, dude.
Johnny Dare does morning radio in Kansas City forever, and he's a great guy, and his whole backyard is set up with shit mostly
Trusses
from your...
and fucking robots with giant plasma screens. He buys stuff from Ghostwrite, which you found out when you did his radio show last time. But he sent me, I sent him the thing like what we do here, the little haunted house. Yeah. And then he goes, here's my yard. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Is this a Microsoft event? Everything is fucking blowing up and, it's crazy. So yeah, Johnny Dare, you won this year, but we got some plans for next year.
That's a podcast. Hey, thanks for joining us in the Funhouse, listener. We'll be with you on that forklift all night long.
That's sweet.
Good enough.
That's so sweet.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
Good night.